bearing witness to the violence was critical to African Americans' sense of dignity and self-regard. The injustice of these attacks on people who had done nothing, right? But what they were supposed to do, what they had been instructed to do, what they wanted to do, this injustice of being attacked empowered a lot of people to step forward at great risk to themselves. And they needed to say the names of their slain kin, to identify their attackers, to challenge efforts to trivialize what happened to them, and hopefully to inspire federal officials and their fellow citizens to help end the violence. And so their actions do work to a degree. You know, some of the violence is tamped down on, but not nearly enough. And it's not because Black people didn't want it to, but because there wasn't a collective will in order to end this violence. But I think in the process, what African Americans do is they create their own register of Reconstruction. And it's a counter narrative that has stood on the record books for 150 years. That reveal the true story about what happened. And so it's been there. And I think one of the most powerful acts or examples of testimony is the fact that they all come together from different communities to do this work, because that's how important they recognize it is for them to produce records, for them to document, for them to account, for them to report what was happening to them. And I think in many ways, it serves as a kind of moral ledger about the nation, about Reconstruction. And so I think educators going into the records and examining them can really take a look at them and to try to get a sense and help students get a sense of what has happened to African Americans. What do they seem to want by testifying? And how does the nation respond and why? And what does this tell us about the nation? And what does this tell us about African Americans?